Hey guys, so one thing that I've noticed while I've been playing Black Hawk Rescue Mission 5 is that people have been quitting to fly helicopters because it's too hard. And I'm here today to explain why it isn't that hard and how to get better at flying helicopters. So first part to getting used to your new helicopter, whether that be the Little Bird, Chinook, Mi-8, NH-90, Blackhawk, anything, you always want to look at the controls, see what you can and can't do. So obviously there's no lights yet, um, and then you can close your doors. You've got your engine controls to turn on and off. You can disable your turrets, all those options. So since we're in this hangar and it's a new feature, what you can do is you can turn your parking brake off, and you'll slowly start moving forward. You see how the wheels are moving? It's meant to be like that. It's supposed to be slow because you're taxiing it. So as we are kind of shimming our way out of this hangar, I'd like to talk about why some people tend to quit. So when it comes to flying helicopters in Black Hawk Rescue Mission 5, there's going to be two ways people go. Either they're going to see that they can't land every 2 seconds and they can't land perfectly like they see in some of these videos and like a professional, and they're not instantly good at it. They stop because they just do not practice and they expect instant results. And I'm telling you right now, I've gotten to my skill level because I practiced and because I've gotten used to the controls. Even after this new update that released in late of April, I felt a little weird, but it took me a couple days to get used to. But I got used to practicing with this. Started off with the Little Bird, moved on to this, and I've liked this a lot more. So as we slowly get out of here, I'm going to turn my parking brake off, or turn that on. Just have a stop right here, and then I would like to pull up some controls that are helpful to change. So in your control menu, it should be in this main control menu. There should be a setting under keybinds right here. That's the mouse steer horizontal sensitivity and that mouse steer vertical sensitivity. If you feel that your helicopter handles too quickly or too slowly in either direction, you can adjust these slowly and fine tune just until it feels perfect to you. It doesn't have to be realistic. You don't have to listen to what anybody else says. It's all based on personal preference because it's you flying, not somebody else flying. So as we taxi out of this hangar, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to slowly bring this thing up and just release just as I'm off the ground. And first step is to get yourself into a stable hover. So obviously this is not my most stable hover. It's a new mouse, so it's going to feel a bit weird, but just try to get yourself in as stable as a hover as possible. And then just get used to that. Hold that for about 30 seconds. Then move. Use your rudder. Just kind of go around this taxiway. And then try to put yourself in hover again without using auto hover. Trust me, it will pay off with landings. So as you just get yourself into these hovers and get used to it, obviously I've got to fine tune mine a little bit because I'm overcorrecting a tad bit. But just get used to that. Honestly, just get into a hover, and then on the main map, either you can do this here or as in my last video in the HQ. You can practice here as long as there's not too many people flying around. I honestly don't think there's too many in the server. Perfect. Just try to find an emptier server to practice in so you don't crash into anybody. Or have anybody hop in your helicopter. So I always recommend getting pretty low and then just going around this little taxiway in a circuit a couple times. So use your rudder, pull back a little bit so you don't slam your rotors into the ground. Slow down right here, use your rudder, turn, pull back, push your nose forward. Just practice trying to stay on that taxiway line as much as you can. because it will pay off. It will get you used to your helicopter within at least a couple hours or an hour, however quick you get used to things. It's based on you. So yeah, just keep going around this over and over and over again until you feel comfortable with it. So the next major step is learning how to land. So what I always recommend when people are asking me how to fly and they want me to teach them, what I always recommend is going on to this long part where nobody tends to be. You know, it's sort of a runway. I don't even know what this thing is supposed to be. It looks like a runway. And just practice kind of, you know, coming in normal. I'm just going to press space so I can gain some speed. And then just come in normal. And then just pull your nose back until you feel that you're getting pretty slow. And then you just keep easing that nose forward as you descend. And then just, for me personally, in the Blackhawk, you just want to put your back wheel on the ground first and just pull off your front wheels. For the Little Bird, it's a little bit different. You will have to, you know, just cushion that landing. So what I tend to do if I'm going fast like this is I just shimmy it down with shift and I let go, and I press it again and let go. And or you can also hold space before you land and do that. It looks a lot smoother like that, but I prefer the first method. And for the next part, building situational awareness. It's very, very important, especially if you're flying into somewhere where stuff is shooting at you. You want to know where stuff's at. So say I want to land in that tree line. What I want to do is just use my eyes, look around for a 1, safe landing spot, and 2, a safe spot for the helicopter to land. So nothing where it'll hit trees, nothing where it'll hit terrain, and then it's also building on to the last part where you're learning how to land. So just learn how to slow down really quickly or slow down at the pace you're comfortable with, and just smoothly put that down without it bouncing into something. So for example right here, just ease that down, make sure that I'm level, just plop that down. So on certain helicopters, especially the Little Bird, if you land on a slope, you're either going to, it's really weird in this game, but you're either going to slide down, tip over, or just stay planted. So I'm going to test right here. I'm not sure if this theory completely works. I'm trying not to hit the terrain. So yeah, it's one of the situations where it just kind of sticks there and slides a little bit. I don't recommend landing on stuff like that. Stuff like right here works perfectly fine. Just be mindful of where your rotors are at. Speaking of seeing where your rotors are at, I see a lot of people hitting the sides of their rotors into the trees as they land because they're not paying attention or it's too low. Think of your rotors as kind of a radius around the helicopter. You don't want anything getting close to it until you're comfortable. And, you know, like, see, I'm almost touching the trees, stuff like that. You want to make sure that your rotors are not touching anything, because there is no such thing as rotor damage in this game. You just break your rotors. It doesn't matter if you hit leaves, the tip of a tree, which in real life it should chop it up. Doesn't matter. You will break your rotors if you touch anything with it, so be mindful of that. And then your last step, going on to building situational awareness. Practice, practice, and practice. And what I mean by practice, practice, practice is notice your faults, notice what you're not very good at, notice what you're good at, and focus on the stuff you're not very good at. So say you suck at landing, then either go back to the airfield or somewhere smooth and flat, empty, like a beach side, and just practice landing. Just practice smooth landings. Trust me, it will help out, and it will impress some people. It'll get them to, you know, hop in your aircraft. So just keep doing that. Also with practice, if you're not very good with smooth flying, what you can do is you can go into hover, and then you can practice moving forwards, moving backwards, strafing, and then also keeping that situational awareness that I mentioned earlier of stuff around you. So say this terrain right here. It's probably not a good place to practice. I would not practice there. What I would go is over here or over the sea. Just be mindful that you don't touch the water because your aircraft will explode and be destroyed. So you can practice hovers. If you're not comfortable with hovers, just focus on using auto hovers and just using those fine-tuning movements so it isn't sliding around, because it does tend to do that. Just get yourself in a nice little auto hover too.